It's December 21st. This is the recap for the end of the day for the S&P biggest movers and biggest gainers. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe. Today's an exciting day. Today was Tesla's first day on the S&P, the first full day, and it made our biggest loser list today. A couple of big banks hit today. Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley were big gainers today, along with Capital One Financial. I'm not going to go over those because I don't do banks. The reason I don't do banks is their financials are a lot different than others. I'm learning banks right now, and not once have I ever looked at their cash flow or their bottom line profit in intense detail. It's totally different metrics. So we're going to focus on Nike. Nike was up 5% today. Tesla's down 6.5% today. So we're going to go ahead and go through them. So going to my Y charts, we're going to pull up Nike first for our big gainer of the day. So let's do our 8 pillars here. $226 billion valuation. So again, if you want to buy the entire company, all the shares out right now, it would cost you $226 billion. First things first, PE ratio, 82, way too high. Obviously, that in and of itself doesn't tell us much, but that is a very high PE. I know Nike has been very high for a while, so I think this is authentic and real. So profit margin, 11.31%, so check mark there, with a gross margin of 43%. Now remember, gross margin is for every extra unit they sell, how much of that is actual, it goes to the profit, 43%. And after all their operating expenses, all their overhead, et cetera, it's 11% of the bottom line after paying everything. Very small dividend, about 0.8%. So we have to factor that in when it comes to the free cash flow. So far we have 1 check mark and 1 X. Financials, let's go to their annual numbers. So 5 years ago, 32.4, today 37.4, so check mark there. And you do see a little drop since last year. Probably this is the beginning of COVID, the middle of COVID right here, so that makes sense. So check mark there. Net income, 3.76 down to 2.5. So it is an X here. A little inconsistent on the profit. If you see in the previous years, there was more consistent profit growth, and then it's fluctuating. One of the things you'll want to do is if you look at their operating income, it's a little more consistent, 4.5, 4.7, 4.4. 4.8, 3.1. So still a big drop because of COVID. One thing I do remember is Nike's really trying to increase their bottom line profit. I think I read something a few years ago. They wanted to double their revenue, get to $60 billion in revenue in 5 years. So they might be spending a lot of money trying to grow. So keep that in mind as you're researching them. Make sure you understand what they're trying to do there. Shares outstanding, 1.7 billion, 1.59. So check mark there. So a few check marks here. Balance sheet. Total current assets currently, 23.6 billion, and total current liabilities of 8.87. Very good margin there. And total, oh, look at this. They almost have enough cash, total current assets to pay off all their liabilities. Very close to it. So this is a very good thing. Again, it's very hard for companies to go bankrupt when you have more cash on hand than you owe the entire world of your debtors, which is pretty awesome. So a nice little check mark there. Now for my big mamma jamma, cash flow. Free cash flow. Okay, so remember, free cash flow is cash from operations less your capital expenditures. Companies use their free cash flow to pay out dividends, buy back shares, do other major growth things, pay down debt, etc. So it's kind of the real way you look at things. Capital expenditures are the money that the companies use to put back into operating their business or for growth into their fixed assets. So it's something that they have to kind of do continuously. So you want to make sure that they have enough free cash flow. They have enough cash from operations to more than cover their cash from their capital expenditures. So what we're going to do is we're going to add up all their cash from operations for the last 5 years, add up all their capital expenditures, and take an average, and then we're going to multiply it by a metric. So let's go ahead and do that first. So their average free cash flow is a little over $3 billion a year. So the next question is, what do you multiply by that by? So first off is their growth. They did $2.2 billion, $2.3 billion in 2016, and last year it was 1.5. So it's an X there. They have declining free cash flow. I'm not as worried about that. So even though this is a big metric for me, I do know that Nike had a bad year last year because of COVID, and we can actually look at their trailing 12 months free cash flow to see what it's at. The last 12 months, we actually don't have that number. It's $2 billion in the one quarter, and the November quarter has not ended yet. So it looks like it is rebounding. but the average has been 3 billion. Now, just like a PE ratio, it's an average of 5 years. Because it's an average of 5 years, you want to sit there and see where revenue and profit are going. Even though we had a little anomaly where it dropped, I still think overall it's still a positive growing free cash flow situation. So I do believe, especially with Nike brand and how well they can do, you should multiply it by a bigger number. I would say about 20, which means you want to pay about $60 billion for the company. Now, guys, this is where you're going to have a heart attack. But Paul, the company is valued at $226 billion. Yeah, it's massively overpriced. So I'm not buying Nike anywhere close to this number. It's at $144 a share. I think I remember once saying I wanted it at $40 a share. And if you look at these numbers, it's about there. You might sit there and say, that'll never happen. Well, it happened 3 years ago. And who knows if it's the right number or not. I'm just telling you that I believe that the present value of a company is the current value of a company is the present value of its future cash flows. And unless you're going to give them all the value, even if you multiply the free cash flow by 30, it's still $90 billion. It still needs to drop by well over half. I just think Nike is one of those companies that's having, it's kind of okay, they were at $62 in the downturn and now they're at 144. Just be patient. Add this to your list. It's a great financial company, but just be patient. In the future, there'll be a better time to buy Nike. As you can see from their history, they have ups and downs. Granted, they're few and far between, but eventually it will happen where they're going to go from $17 in '08 down to $10. I mean, it's the same as going from 170 to 100 or 140 to 80 or 90. So it will happen. It can grow into its value, but Nike is a great brand. You just got to be patient to buy it at the right price. I know it's not going to be a very popular opinion, but at the end of the day, I look at the cash of the business and I look at their way of growing. And Nike's growth has not been super fast. If you look at this, $32.4 billion to $37 billion over a 5-year period, that's not huge growth. What is that? 20? Not even 20%. It's like 15% over 5 years. That's 2 or 3% a year. You can't give them a huge valuation when they're not growing into that. So that's my opinion on Nike. Now, do we even need to talk about Tesla's valuation? Of course we do. Do we? All right. For those of you who haven't seen my Tesla valuation, okay, this company hates. Look at this. Look at this chart. This is insane. They were at $86 a share. Now they're at $640. Guys, everybody tells me. First off, we'll talk about this. Everybody tells me they're not a car company. You're delusional. Everybody tells me they're a tech company. You're delusional because you know why? Here's their margin. Their gross margin is 23.5%. Let's go find another tech company. Let's find Google. Not GoGo. Google. Google's gross margin, 55%. Okay? By that, at 23% gross margin that Tesla has, that's after the 7% money that the government gives them. So it's really about 16%. So Google's at 53%. What about Microsoft? Their gross margin, 70%. Okay, sounds like a tech company for Tesla. What about Apple? Apple's gross margin is 38%. So that's the closest one to them. It's because they make a lot of hardware and they're even much higher than. So let's stop the argument about Tesla being a tech company. I get it. We want to believe it. They're a battery company. Great. What's Duracell? I don't know what these things are. My whole point is you're just trying to justify valuations. You're telling me right now that Tesla's worth 6 times more than it was at the beginning of the year? I have a hard time believing that. Why? Because let's go look at their financials. Keep in mind, guys, with Tesla, they got 7% back from the government for every car they sold, and that ended already, from what I'm told. So you're talking about 7% of their gross margin going away immediately. So they're going from 23% down to 16% immediately. Their profit in first off, in the trailing 12 months was $556 million on $28 billion in sales. Okay? So $28 billion, if let's say half that was cars, I don't know what the number is, times 0.07, you have to deduct $1 billion from their profit. You're already back in a negative number. And I look at that going, does that mean it's always going to be negative? No. But is it a $650 billion company? Absolutely not at current values. Could it be a $650 billion company someday? Yes. But you're paying them today for what they have to do in the future to even justify today. That's like me sitting there saying, I'm going to be a billionaire someday. So give me my $1 billion bank account today. Well, what have you done to earn that? It doesn't matter. I'm going to be a billionaire someday. So give me the $1 billion value. No, it doesn't make any sense. It's just like a kid who's 6 years old. He has the potential for being an all-star baseball player. Pay him $40 million a year right now. Well, no, he hasn't done it yet, but he probably will do it. Why? Well, because his dad is Manny Ramirez and blah, blah, blah. All these reasons you give. But at the end of the day, let them get there. Because if you pay him $40 million a year right now, how do you make money in the future? That's the same way I look at companies. So, financials. Let's see the quote. $613 billion company. PE ratio of 1,300. That's probably the highest I've ever seen. Profit margin of 3.7. I give them credit. They can actually make money now. And by the way, I do love Elon Musk. I think he's a brilliant man, in my opinion. But, I mean, the revenue has jumped up a lot, but it's also slowing. Look at last year. Look at 18 to 19. Let's see how it's doing this year. The revenue is from 24.5 billion last year to the last 12 months of 28. So it's only up 15%. Okay, so it's still something to worry about. But there's a check mark in revenue growth. There is a check mark in profit. Is there a check mark in profit growth? There is a check mark in profit growth, barely, but it's there. Number of shares outstanding. They're issuing shares like crazy. This is the biggest indicator that Elon Musk realizes how overpriced the company is. When a company is massively increasing the number of shares they have, they're basically saying the public is stupid. They think our stock is worth a ton. Let's go take advantage of that. I would be doing the exact same thing. I'd be like, well, wait a second. If you guys all put this major value in the company, why should I issue debt? I'll issue you guys shares at a massive overpriced number, and you guys can pay me for it, and I'll go fund my operations that way. I don't blame them, but you're getting diluted like crazy. Look at it here. In 2010, there were 250 million shares. Now there's 885. That means for every share you owned back in 2010, it's worth about 30% of, or 25 or 30% of what it's worth today. That's, I mean, it's ridiculous. No, today it's worth 25 or 30% of what it was back then. Even though the price has gone up, you're buying less percentage of the revenue. Balance sheet. Current assets, 21.75. Current liabilities, 13.3. Nice job, Tesla. You can actually pay your bills. And their total liabilities are 28.8. So not terrible. It's actually pretty decent. Check mark there. Cash flow. Let's see this one. I mean, they have free cash flow. They went from a $2 billion free cash flow loss to about $1 billion in free cash flow gain. So that is a check mark. So I'm not going to do all 5 years due to the fact they didn't even have cash from operations for a big chunk. But let's see the last 12 months. They have about $1.8 billion in free cash flow. Let's do the biggest number we've ever done in our entire lives. 50 times free cash flow. $90 billion. It's currently $613 billion. So the stock had to fall by 85% for me to go, okay, let's talk. And by the way, that's still, remember, that's with their 7% rebate from the government for every car they sell, which has gone away. So again, guys, you have to take another $1 billion off this. You go from $1.8 billion down to 900 million, 800 million, multiply by 50, you're still at 45 billion. This company is overpriced every which way from Adam. Go check out our previous Tesla video where I talk about here are the companies you could buy besides Tesla. You could buy 5 of these major brands, or you could buy Berkshire Hathaway, which made 35 billion in the last year when Tesla made 500 million in the last year. Go check it out. Tesla's still massive overpriced. I would say this. Stocks start falling on good news and stocks start rebounding on bad news. I believe entering the S&P was the last bit of good news that would make a major uptick. Now, I've been wrong right and left on Tesla, but it doesn't shock me that they're down 7% today. What else is there to do besides join the S&P? What else they have to prove at $600 billion? Besides that they're worth, to give you upside potential, they got to show they can get to $1 trillion valuation through their fundamentals. I don't think it's there. Again, everybody's going to disagree with me. Downvote me, upvote me, I don't care. The bottom line is, this is my opinion. I look at the financials. That's the way I look at it. So thanks, guys. Again, make sure you like or dislike and subscribe. And check out our Patreon at patreon.com/everythingmoney. Thanks a lot.